Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. And today I'm going to take a brief moment out to do a video per request from one of my subscribers, Nigel. How you doing out there, Nigel? And appreciate your support. Nigel's support question was, it's a pretty good question. I thought that I would address this to everybody. It reads, Morris, man, could you do a video that talks about the usage of bar chords versus the usage of open chords? Very good question. And when I think of open chords, I think immediately of folk music, country and western, and some pop and country, country and western, because a lot of those types of songs, they do a lot of just the top three frets. You know, they play up there as far as different open face chords, and I think that's kind of how that style is built upon, because when you hear that, you quickly associate those open bar face chords with country western music, definitely folk music, and some pop stuff. So as far as the bar chords, more or less for R&B, blues, funk. And the difference to me is, of course, tonality, because something that I teach in my DVDs that I have for sale that most music teachers don't even mention to you, that when you start to learn out of those easy playbooks, which are ridiculous because there should be no such thing as easy, they can teach you what you need to know from day one, instead of that excuse that, well, in order to learn this stuff off the radio, which is what you came in here for, you got to learn this other stuff. Mary Had a Little Lamb, When the Saints Go Marching In, Tom Dooley, songs you would never, ever play in your entire life. So they fail to tell you that in those books, in a lot of those regular books, the chord diagram is in first position. But guess what? If you're playing an R&B funk song, they're not playing an open position. They're playing bar chords up and down the neck. Or if not necessarily bar chords, but three-note chords throughout the neck and not in the first three frets. Because again, they have a different sound to themselves. Bar chords, I use those quite a bit in my playing, and it gives you a fuller sound. So it's kind of, the difference is, what type of music you're trying to play is what will warrant you to use the chords you're using. Because, I just did a John Mayer cover per request. And actually, it's a pretty good song. And the majority of the chords are played in first position. The A major, actually technically it's the A major ninth chord according to the sheet music, but I play the seventh. And a lot of times you can get away with that because it's like just one note changing, and most people are not going to hear that note. The minor major seven and the minor major ninth are very close in tonality. So you can kind of get away with either one of them in most cases. But what a lot of folk players do is they use a capo. They might put it on the fifth fret, which now turns the fifth fret to the first three frets, and it's easier for them to play. And I think that usually singers do that because they don't want to be all over the neck while they sing it, so they just in one place. But to me, and this is just my personal opinion, and that's all it is, I never use a capo because I don't want my sound of chord changing to sound very similar to the one I just changed from, because you can't help it to sound very close to the one you just played because you still in the same register of the neck. So that's why I don't use those. I call them the lazy man's way of playing guitar, with the exception, again, if you're a singer and you need to focus on your singing and you don't want to be moving all over the place. With that exception, it's kind of a lazy man's approach to playing guitar. In order to get these beautiful tones, you got to go all up and down his neck, instead of just staying in one position and just changing the note, which, again, that chord sound like the one you just played. But that's just my opinion, because what I try to do on all of my covers is I try to match up my tone, not only the tone, but the voicings, so they can be very close to what you hear on the recording, because that's why I do the play-alongs. It makes sense to play along with the record so you can hear it in this content. Because I got some people every blue moon, it'd be nice if you just play it by yourself. And here's my thought on that. You want to dress up everything, because you can have a really great singer, and if you just stick them out there with a mic and no band and no drums and no keyboard, it's going to sound pretty empty, and it's the same thing with being a musician. You want to play in an accomplishment. as opposed to just by yourself, So that's why I do that. It sounds good to play with the record, and then you can actually hear what I'm doing in content with the record and see how well it fits. So that's why I do that. And sometimes people ask me about, and I'm going to address this now. When you play your guitar, you should, give me different pickup selections. The reason why I do that I don't do that because, again, I try to match up the guitar to the recording, and the majority of the guitar tones I hear are in the middle position. I use the top one, the second one. I never ever use the third one because it's so thin and bright. And I've only heard a few guitar songs in the 60s that have that extra brightness and no balls to it. So, so if you're waiting on me to play my guitar in that position, don't hold your breath because I don't. It's just not what I do. I don't like that tone. I like the mid-range. The mid-range is my favorite one, but this is just my personal preference and choice. There's some people that love the third one. There's some people that love the first one. I kind of like the middle one, and I go from 1 to 2, but I never ever use this one. I can't think of any time I've ever used it. Because again, the majority of the stuff that I play when I try to match up the tone is either the first one or the middle one. It's rarely ever the third one. So I thought I would address that because there's some people that want you to audition all of the pickups. I really don't get into that. That's kind of a technical thing, and I did a video on technical versus physical. I'm focusing on the physical, not the technical, because the people that come to hear me play, they're not worried about the technical. They just worry about me playing and sounding good. And they're worried about, you should be in the second position on your pickups so I can hear the first and the third pickups. They don't know nothing about that. So that's not my focus neither, because there's some people, and I'm going to close this off because I'm not going to go on the rant, but there's some people that want to get into the building of it and the electronics and the wood. I'm trying to be the best guitar player that I can, not the best guitar maker. I'll leave that up to Just Dave because that's Dave's thing and he does it well. So I don't need to worry about that. I just need to worry about playing it, So that's my focus. But again, to each his own. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.